So I went through the 2-week experiment of testing out my routine so that I can talk about it and explain it so we can all learn and grow together. So join me in this video about mental health and routines. But basically, for the first week, I just drank water, went on a shit ton of walks, dropped 10 pounds, ate really good food, had a really secure diet, and basically content created my fucking ass off. I put in 13-hour days, 12-hour days, 10-hour days, and I got a full week's in of 50 hours of pure YouTubing and TikToking. And then the next week, I went back to smoking weed and eating whatever I want and not going on walks and just doing whatever, just to see what the balance would be, because I wanted to know if my flow state was coming from my habits and how I'm eating and how I'm drinking and what I'm doing with my life, or if it was coming from pure hard work. I wanted to know if I started smoking again, could I still pull off the same results? And the answer was I could not pull off the same results. Not even close. Right now we're on the 6th or 7th day of smoking and doing whatever I want. And I've already stopped doing that and started turning my habits around, because I knew by day 5 that this just isn't working and that the flow state does indeed come from fixing your habits. So to move forward with that, but to look at it in a different light, I want to say something like, looking back, mental health experiences are more like spiritual experiences than they are a mental health experience. So even in the deepest depths of my psychosis, I experience hallucinations and talk to people that aren't really there, and that kind of stuff happens to me. But even in something a little bit more common like anxiety or depression, you go into certain situations expecting certain feelings based on your mental health, based on what's prone to happen, based on your triggers. And then you experience that thing. I don't know, maybe going to a sports event for the first time in a really long time, and you're like, oh, am I going to be surrounded by too many people? But because you're in the perfect psyche of having fun, and you're just with your friends, and you're having beers, and you're having drinks, and everything's going great, you're not brought on by the anxiety of the fact that you're surrounded by anywhere from 20 to 50,000 people, depending if this is an American football game or a Canadian hockey. So I'm just going to speak on behalf of a lot of mentally ill people here. When you're in the right mind state, you can overcome anything that the medication is supposed to take care of for you. I still take my medication. I still obviously need it. It still does its job. But I don't let myself give in when I want to be paranoid, or when I want to have a mood swing, or when I want to have a hallucination, or when I can feel that a scary thing that happened during the week off where I was completely sober and just eating really well and dropping weight like a motherfucker. I was I took a bath one night and I was just vibrating in the tub because I felt so good. And I was scared that the psychosis was going to come on. And that's when I decided I was going to do a week of just getting back into a regular routine of smoking weed and eating whatever I want, because I wanted to see if I could achieve that same flow state with everything holding me back. And I couldn't. It was impossible. But it's in our normal routines where we just, I don't know, you're gassing up your car and you walk into the Shell gas station and there's 3 conversations happening in the lineup and it's just too much for you. And you're like, oh, this is bringing on my mental health. I'm not built for this. This is bringing on my anxiety. So then you got to ask yourself, is this really me and my illness? Or is this just a mindset that my doctors and the government wants me to be in? Because I'm speaking for myself now. I should be way more severe than I am with schizoaffective manic bipolar 1 and ADHD. I shouldn't even be able to put a sentence together, let alone create content and do my own editing. So my conclusion to all this is, the more you develop your routine and get to know yourself and what you can and cannot get away with, what is considered healthy and what is considered unhealthy to you, when you find this magic middle point in that routine, your mental health symptoms seem to just disappear, and then you don't feel mentally ill anymore. I have not felt mentally ill in over 2.5 years since the last time I had any peaking moments. I've been completely solid, and I fucking have my routine to thank for that. And it still needs work. It's always going to need work. Guys, routine is just so fucking key.